Have you ever heard of an elevator pitch? This is something that entrepreneurs use to describe getting into an elevator with someone and pitching your story, your idea, your business concept, okay? How do you do it in that short amount of time? Now, as I started this journey in my own business, I understood the power, get this, the power of the power statement. This is what this video is about today. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Number one, don't break any laws of the land. Number two, make sure you're 18 and older. You're responsible for all your actions. Number three, make sure you understand this is for information, education, and entertainment. Let's go. Greetings, Earthlings. My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy. I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. To get started today, I'm going to talk about this topic, which is very, very important, actually. It's very important, actually. Specifically, the Indian people, you know, rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth, okay? All the freedom fighters are looking at that going, what are you talking about? The elevator pitch, okay? First of all, in the future, we might not even have elevators. We might have something different, right? Portals, tunnels that we walk through, things like this. What's your portal pitch, brother? My portal pitch is, in any case, man, it's just a pitch, right? It's what you're showing, it's what you're offering. Now, I had to consider this for my new business, Primal Sutra, and understanding that what do we really stand for, right? We want to help men go from wounded masculine to divine masculine, basically. Essentially, that's what we're doing, simplified. But we're getting to a person's core wounds. You're born with a core wound, okay? As a man or a woman, you're born with a specific childhood trauma that has been the invisible string that has been working in the background of your life, preventing you and actually creating blockades to your own potential, aka flow state, your highest self, your higher self, right? Like the most upgraded rendition of you, okay? In Indian society, man, you know, we're obsessed with reputation so much, right? Give me a thumbs up if you guys agree with me here, because this is a really important topic. We are so obsessed with looking good and putting on this like mirage of like, oh, my beta did this, and my son and my daughter did this, and it's like this pretension to kind of one up. It's like some kind of a invisible competition, right? Of who could signal the most virtue. That's not a way to live. The way to live is the way as the Stoics lived. If you are a man, you need this book. You need this book. The Art of Living, okay? The Classical Manual on Virtue, Happiness, and Effectiveness by Epictetus. This is the true path of the graceful warrior. I truly believe it, because if you really understand this book, right? You understand this concept of reputation is not as important as character. Your character, your ethos, your character traits, the avatar, that is important. We're not discounting that, right? We're not pretending that this is what it is. We're actively constructing it and emulating it. And we're finding the most effective and valuable traits to take us into a higher frame of thinking. Character matters more than reputation. Worry and dread are a waste of time and do not set a good example for others. Why live in fear about things such as whether you gain public recognition in your profession or community, or whether you'll get the opportunities and prerequisites that others do? Don't be bothered by such concerns as people don't think well of me and I'm a nobody. Even if your reputation were to really matter, you're not responsible for what others think of you. What real difference does it make to your character and well-being if you have a powerful position or get invited to fancy parties? None at all. Who can be expected to give anything that they don't have? Besides, if you had to choose between having a certain amount of money and having a loyal and honorable friend, which one would you choose? It's better if you help me become a good person than to push me to do things that threaten my good character. This is the advice that you give to people who are getting on your nerves. It's better if you help me become a good person than to push me to do things that threaten my good character. But what about my obligations to my country? What do you mean? If you're talking about making grand charitable donations or putting up fancy buildings, is that really an issue? A metal worker doesn't make shoes and a shoemaker doesn't make weapons. Well, what if someone else were to do the same thing as me? That's fine. It doesn't make your contributions any less valuable. But what about my position in society, you ask? Whatever position you can hold while preserving your honor and fidelity to your obligations is fine. But if your desire to contribute to society compromises your moral responsibility, how can you serve your fellow citizens when you become irresponsible and shameless? Okay, I read out some of these passages, man. They're powerful, right? This is the way that Epictetus is thinking. This is the mind of a man who was a slave who got himself out of slavery. Now you understand that this is a mental tech that you need to adopt. Get this book first and foremost. Read a passage every single day. It'll fill you up with that Vajra that I was talking about in that video earlier, okay? It's really going to impact you, man. And this is what is really important, is you start building your character. You start doing the actions, right, that install the behavioral traits that make you the character you want. You know, there's an app on your phone. You can flip both sides of your face. One towards the left side of your face, one towards the right side of the face. And these look like two different characters, right? So if I look at these guys, I go, what the fuck, right? I go, one guy looks like an absolute shaman beast, and the other guy looks like, you know, a complete hippie. And I understand that that is the priest beast inside of me working. It's more so a working together where the priest amplifies and provides in such a way that you become a part of your own independent ceremony. Your character, man, it's one side fighting the other. That's the internal conflict we're all facing. So now what you want to be doing is taking the actions that build that strong, sharp version of you. So I'll give you an example of a power statement that I used or have used in the past. It's kind of changed right now. However, you know, more so I still use it, you know, in a lot of moments. So I help inspire. I love the word inspire. I chose that because it was a power statement, power word for me. In spirit, in breath. I help inspire visionaries. Okay? I use the word visionaries because visionaries have grand visions. Okay, they have this urgency inside of themselves to want to manifest and create their own life. And so I help visionaries, I help inspire visionaries go from a fear-based life to a flow-based lifestyle. Okay? Something along those lines would be my little pitch, or you could say my power statement. I love the word going from fear to flow, right? It's so powerful, and it simplifies what I do because I've been through that journey of anxiety in the past. So that word fear, I'm locking horns with that word. My research, with my background and experience, with my help from my mentors, I have a different relationship to that word fear now. And that's really important to understand if you're thinking of your brand that way, right? What does your journey, your storyline represent? So basically what I'm saying here is you don't need an elevator pitch. You need a very strong character. You need to be your brand, okay? Yes, you can say it any way that you want. Hey, I help people go from this to this. Hey, I help solve this big problem with this solution. Okay? There are ways to go about this. However, you want to find power words. What do I mean by this? Words that fill you up with life force, energy, and vigor. Words that transcend the ego, like power, truth, love, beauty, like strength. These words that captivate. And what is it that your brand archetype is? I highly recommend you do the Jungian archetype quiz on individualist, individualologist or something like that, .com, right? And that quiz will tell you what your top Jungian archetype is. We all have one prominent Jungian archetype, right? That brings us more towards the character or the archetype that we're trying to be. This is way more valuable to you than knowing your elevator pitch, because you will then be able to emanate that character wherever you go, and people will be already curious about what it is that you do or what your business is, and then you can pitch them. So it's character first, then pitching, okay? If you have this I got you energy, like if you've been through some shit in your life, right? And you have someone else sitting on the table next to you speaking about his journey as if it's almost your journey that you're hearing, and you go, wait, I've been there, man. I totally get how to get this guy out of this situation. My goodness, like I had that problem before, right? And you see them struggling and you go, I got you, bro. That energy. I got you, man. That's the energy that you need to tap into, okay? That will bring you into the next calibration of your business. That will bring you towards helping others with greater potential. That will bring you to have service first, and then you understand that the trust is generated through the character, through the aura of who you are being, not what you are doing, to have more order in your life rather than chaos in your life. Okay, this is what this is about. Let's go. Upward Spiral Gang, we all gonna make it. May we never be the same again. Let's go. Os. Hit that subscribe button if you're new, okay?